Hello, hi, and welcome. Single women keep women single. That's what we're discussing today. Let me tell you, this one is exhausting. To some extent, it's exhausting. And I was a bit intentional with choosing the videos because I'm like, I want to feature the videos of people that I honestly disagree with because I want to listen and see if there's something I'm missing. Is there a point to their argument and their discussion that maybe I may not be noticing, that I may not be paying attention to? Are there valid points that I'm ignoring? And that's why I made the choice of videos that I did. Yeah, you will see where they lean. You will see it is very, very clean. It's very, very clear where they lean. And yeah, I wanted to challenge myself on this one. I didn't want to feature just a bunch of videos of people with whose opinion I agree with. I wanted to challenge myself, and I did. And boy, when I tell you, my mind remains unchanged. But anyway, that's for the end. I also do want to say that the stance of women or rather the change in standards for women is it not something that happened overnight. This is as a result of centuries and decades of women that came before us warning us. And we are finally hitting the core. And this is as a result of relationships no longer, or rather information no longer being private, but rather women coming to the public square and sharing information. Right? That this is what actually happens in relationships. And therefore, in friendships, we try to warn each other when we see things that are going a little weird. Women, I genuinely, and I know this is not a general statement, right? People are individual, but I genuinely believe that women want the best for other women. We do know that there are those that really don't. So there's arguments to be made on both sides of the story, right? But it's interesting that in this case, when we're talking about women that want to sabotage their friends' relationships, we are credited to women just being horrible, single women just being horrible people, and not necessarily the girl in the relationship not knowing how to choose friends properly, friends that root for her, friends that want the best for her, right? It comes down to just because she's single, she must be toxic. Anyway, I want us to get into the videos to see how it goes. I genuinely think that this argument is tired. Like I said, it used to fly back in the days when women were not talking to each other and we just believed what society said about women. But anyway, let's wait and see what these videos say. And maybe, just maybe, we might have a different perspective. I doubt it, but here we go.
Imagine being a single woman who wants to be married, but refuses to take advice from a married woman. Make that make sense. I mean, the conversation around marriage and how single women tell married women to mind their business, like that is just a running thing. Mind your business, mind your business. You want what I have. You want what I already have. So why would you not listen to a woman who is married, who was chosen, who is thriving, right? Not saying that they have a perfect marriage. Nothing is perfect. But you're listening to your single friends who it hasn't worked. Like, I'm trying to make this make sense. Like, a lot of women want to be married. I don't care what y'all say. A lot of women want to be married, especially Black women desire marriage, right? They desire marriage. Not all, but a lot. But then there's a lot of them who say, I'm not listening to no married woman because her life might not be perfect. But you don't have what she already has it, though. Don't you think listening to what she has to say can help you get a different situation, right? If you change your attitude, if you get in shape, if you stop leading with your career, if you be a little bit more kind, more nice, if you're more feminine, if you're willing to like fix yourself, maybe, just maybe, you can have what other women have, which is companionship, which is partnership, which is love, genuine love, honest love. But again, they tell us to mind our business, but they want what we have. So I just trying to make it make sense.
One thing women know how to do really good is keeping other women single.
Yeah, for
Women
sure.
give other women the most horrible advice ever.
Yeah. I agree.
So that they can be single just like you. They really have a clandestine jealousy for women who are in a relationship. No one's looking for you. You're no man's first choice. You're absolutely no man's first choice, saying how you don't need no man and how we don't need y'all. What do you mean we, lady? Hold on, you're only one person. What do you mean we don't need y'all? You are no man's first choice. Stop trying to recruit these young girls and have them recycle your way of thinking to pull them on your side, because these young girls and women that are aligning themselves with the interests of men, they have a chance to go on and have a happy and healthy, fruitful relationship. You don't. But now you're trying to recruit more and more women to come over there and be lonely with your ass.
As a girl in a healthy, loving relationship, I find it so hard to make friends with single girls because majority of the girls that are single usually hate men, which is like valid, sure, but they project their insecurities onto my relationship, which is so fucking annoying. I met this one girl, and after having told her that I've been in a long-term relationship of 4 years, she goes on to fucking tell me that my boyfriend is more likely to cheat on me now because he's more comfortable in the relationship. Like, whatever the fuck happened to, oh, that's so cute, are you guys gonna get married? Like, and then she goes on to trauma dump on me about her ex-boyfriend and how he cheated on her and all that, whatever. But like, news fucking flash, not every single guy out there will cheat on you. And if it's not that, then it's the whole, oh, your boyfriend should be paying for every single thing that you do. Why are you paying for anything? Why are you paying for your own nails? He should be paying for your rent. And I find those girls even more annoying because I'm not expecting my boyfriend, who's literally only 25 years old, to be covering for everything. And I'm sorry, I don't know what economy you guys are living in, but you cannot be a millionaire by the age of 25, okay? Like, you're still pretty fucking young. And he works really fucking hard every single day. So I know that he's gonna get us somewhere. Like, I don't know how to explain to you girls that just because he's not paying for everything right now doesn't mean that he's not a provider man. He has a provider mindset. He's just young. Like some of you girls seriously need to get a reality check. I'm so sorry, but you just get a fucking reality check.
There was this video I saw that I actually wanted to stitch, but it was not possible to stitch the video on the app. Anyway, whatever. It was this woman saying that, like, her friends, whenever she gets into an argument with her man, her friends will tell her, like, so what, girl? Like, curse him out. Like, who cares? Whatever. And she's like, I can't do that. Like, my man will literally hang up the phone on me. Like, he's not going to allow me to disrespect him. He's not going for that. Like, I can't do that. And I just want to say, like, I am not that friend. I am not the friend that's going to encourage you to curse your man out. I'm not going to be the one that's like, girl, F him. Like, let's keep it pushing. We don't need men. Like, come on, we can do our own thing. Like, I am not that. I'm not that. I'm not a feminist. I'm not a woman who is supporting the divide of women and men. Like, I'm not into that. Okay, I want people to be in love. I want people to have good relationships. And I'm going to give you the best possible advice as my friend that I could give you. If you don't want to hear that, that's up to you. But I'm never going to be a city girl. Like, I'm just never going to be that. I'm never going to be that type of person who is going to tell you something that can negatively impact your relationship just because I'm just telling you what you want to hear. Like, and that's a problem. A lot of women are around women that tell them what they want to hear, not what they need to hear.
Receive $10 million or your nigga receive 100 million?
Receive 10 million. My man receive 100 million because he gonna give me some. What you mean?
That's that nigga like that? What you think?
Give me my 10. That's that. Yeah. How much for the nigga? 100. But okay, he probably lying tell you he got 2, if even a million. Right, yeah, give me my money.
Y'all gonna learn. Women keep other women single. One girl, she say she want her man to get the big bag, and then she trusts him to divvy it up, right? Other girl, she talking about, nah, I'll take a little bit just so he don't get nothing. Then this girl over here let this girl over there convince her to take a little bit because she don't trust the type of man that she selected. Make it make sense, bro. Avoid women like that at all costs.
Listen to me. I'm trying to figure out what this has to do with single women, right? Relationships with men at the moment are just generally unappealing. There's just bad PR for marriage and romantic relationships, especially as far as women are concerned. It's like you are better off genuinely by yourself. This has nothing to do. I get it. There are people that are a little toxic, but we cannot say just because we are single and happy, therefore we want women in relationships to be single as well. No, if you are in a relationship and that's the goal. I think that's the goal. Even with single women, it's them saying, listen, finding a healthy thing is not working. That's the results. We're not getting the result we want there. So I'm going to stay single because I'm happier here. But if it was working out, Potentially, I could want that for myself. So why would I hate when somebody else has it? Are we all jealous? Is this a thing that we catch in the air? Come on. Come on. You can't blame or accuse all of us of being single. That's unreasonable. That is just unreasonable.
This is a pretty unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say it because it just needs to be said. It's not single women that keep other women single. It's the women in relationships and marriages that keep single women single. Like, the women in relationships just aren't making the relationships look appealing. A lot of women in these relationships look dried out. They look fussed out, tired. They look like they've had enough. And they just don't make relationships look worthwhile. They look drained and they don't look that happy. And as single women that are friends to these women, we're just looking like we don't think that's something that we want to deal with. It just doesn't seem appealing. Just doesn't, something about it just doesn't tickle my fancy, you know? And that's not every woman. Of course, it's not every woman. Of course, there's plenty of women that are in happy and loving relationships, and their men are all that they ever imagined to be. And I love that for them. But it's not the single people keeping single people single. It's the people in relationships that are keeping the single people single. The things that we have to hear about, the things that we have to see, it just doesn't seem worth it. It just doesn't.
It's not the single women that are keeping women single. It's the married women that are keeping women single. And by single, I mean not married. My grandma always said, if you're not married, you're single. You're still on the market. Women get on this app every day and tell us not to get married and how much work it is to maintain a marriage. Even the ones who are married to quote unquote good men say if they were given the opportunity to do it again, they wouldn't do it again because of the amount of work and labor that's involved in maintaining that marriage. And let's not talk about the ones that are married to not good men, the narcissistic men, the abusive men, the men that lack emotional intelligence, the ones that won't keep a job, the ones that won't help with children. Oh my God, those women want out of those situations quickly. And we all know women in our families and around us who are married, who look like they are going through it. Like they look unhappy, they look miserable, their skin looks bad, their space is sunken in, they look like they're carrying the weight of the world. Yeah, those. So for all the men out there pushing marriage on women and saying, where's your husband at? Where your husband at? We don't want them. We're running from them. We're literally out here ducking and dodging marriage.
It's not single women keeping women single. It's married women. Think about it. If most married women were happy, fulfilled, content, thriving, women would be queuing up to get married. Because when something has a good rep, it becomes popular amongst women. What's the first thing you see in the comments on TikTok? Oh my God, girl, where'd you get that outfit? Who did your hair? Where'd you get those glasses? We see something, we like it, it looks good, we want it. We want more information on how to get it. And for years, the best-selling things among women were things related to relationships, relationship books, magazines giving relationship advice, anything that could empower you to attract a relationship. But with the age of social media, women are coming to the public square and telling us all about their relationship experiences unprompted. And it's not the fairy tale. Another Mother's Day just passed on Sunday, and we got to see more and more women talking about how their husbands ignored them, did nothing for them, belittled them, expected them to cook and clean. And it's the same thing we've been seeing on this app for years. And we're like, is this the grand prize? Because when women make these complaints, do you see men in the comments saying, that's not how it should be. He should be getting you roses. He should appreciate you. Women need to be adored. Mothers need to be put on a pedestal. When women talk about a man not celebrating their birthday, anniversary, Mother's Day, Christmas, we see a lot from men of, why do you need that? You're doing too much. You should just be happy to have someone. Women are spoiled. Why do you expect him to ask you to be his Valentine? Romance is stupid and artificial, and this is a Hallmark holiday. Do you think that makes women want to be in a relationship, let alone a marriage? Men love to say single women are keeping women single. Or if they do get married and it doesn't work out, oh, that's because she just wanted a wedding. She didn't want a relationship. Think about it. Women still love weddings. Women still go crazy over weddings. There's wedding content all over this app. But fewer people are getting married than ever, and fewer are staying married. And it's not because women just want a big party. They just want a wedding where they can be the center of attention and live out a princess fantasy. Because like marriage, weddings are a lot of work. But unlike marriage, women get a return on their investment with a wedding. Yeah, you had to invest a lot of money, a lot of hours of your life. There was a lot of labor, but the end result was worthwhile. You knew upfront you were paying a lot of money, but that you were going to get what you paid for. Women invest a lot of labor into marriage, but they don't get the fulfillment that they were told they were going to get. Where's the equitable partnership? Where is this love? Where is the care? Where is the concern? Where's the family that you were promised? And married women all over the world are sharing strikingly similar stories. In marriage, they feel lonely. They feel isolated. They're doing everything themselves. The husband doesn't want to spend time with them or their children. There's an expectation for many women nowadays that they're going to have to contribute financially, so they're working hard outside the home and they're doing a second or even third shift at home. The vast majority, if not all, of the child rearing and labor falls to them. Like with the wedding, they entered the marriage prepared to work hard. They did the things that they had already been doing before because most women did live with their husbands before marriage. But the workload doesn't remain the same. It increases due to the husband just becoming super lazy once he has her locked down and he feels like she can't leave, or due to them having children. And she gets less of what she feels was making it bearable before. Less attention, less affection, less love, less care. By the time she reaches the end of her tether, she's running on autopilot, being everything to everyone, nothing to herself. And she figures, if I feel isolated and lonely, I might as well actually be alone because at least then it'll be less work. I won't be emotionally, financially, physically depleted. Because it's not single women telling her that, it's married women. When she goes to the women in her circle, when she goes to the elders of her family about her complaints before she finally decides to check out of the marriage, they tell her, this is just what marriage is. Well, of course you're tired. Of course you're doing everything by yourself. This is a marriage. It's not single women keeping women single. If anything, single women have a more elevated idea of marriage because they haven't been in it. Many of them idealize marriage. Some of them idolize marriage and put it on a pedestal. It's married women that will give you a harsh and realistic, possibly even nihilistic picture of marriage every time. And when faced with a circle of their married friends who all have the same complaints, if not worse, who are telling them it never changed, it never improved, that they've done all the things, they've read relationship books, they've been to couples counseling, they've made their husband a list, they've pleaded and they've begged, they've asked for help, they've stood on their head, nothing has changed. It is that kind of mentality that says, this is just our lot in life, that finally sparks the change that makes so many women say, I can't do this anymore. If this is the status quo, if this is the expectation, lifelong misery, isolation, alienation, unhappiness, and endless labor, I'm good on that. I would rather leave and be responsible for everything myself than have an expectation that I have a partner that when I ask them for help, they're going to make things worse. They're going to get emotional. They're going to be using weaponized incompetence and making my load more heavy. I have to soothe him. I have to appease his ego. I have to serve him physically. It would be so much easier if I feel alone to do it alone. If marriage has so much bad press, men only have people who are married, particularly husbands, to blame for that. Don't be mad because your wives told us the truth and now we don't want to get married. That's it. Like and follow for more.
Hi. Hello. You're obviously new here. No shade to this guy because he doesn't know that I'm not single. I am remarried. But I wanted to use his comment as an example and bring you back to the original video that all of the negative comments are from men. Every single one. If you go back to the original video, it's joking about making it through divorce, and when married couples ask me for advice or complain about their spouse, I go to the answer of just leave them. And of course, that's not going to be my actual advice. But going back to this comment and all the other negative comments on that video, I think it needs to be brought to light that a certain gender needs to wake up and see that communication without change is manipulation. No, you shouldn't immediately leave them without trying to solve the problem. But if the person is told and the communication is there and there is no change, then yeah, my advice is still the same. Leave them. Leave them. If they're not giving you what you need, you're communicating what you need, and nothing has changed, yeah, leave them. I'm not a single woman keeping other women single. I'm a remarried woman that has found love that I thought I could never find. And had I not been single, I would have never found them. So, peace out, Boy Scout.
Sir, I know you meant this as a diss, but I sincerely hope you're right, because I hope that happily single women teach other women that they can also be happily single until they find their partner. And if they never want to be in partnership, they can live successful, happy lives single and don't need to be in partnership. That way they won't settle for partners that aren't right for them. Being single isn't contagious, but Lord, I hope being happily single is.
Well, there you have it. Like I said, I generally think that it's just people that have chosen bad friends, right? But I will say this, right? We can equally talk about the importance of having friends that bring your attention to the dangers of losing yourself in a relationship. If you're in a relationship and your friends that genuinely care about you are seeing signs of unhealthy traits, of unhealthy behaviors, they have a responsibility, and I assume you would also have the expectation that they come to you and make you aware. Hey, listen, I've noticed that when John does this, you kind of respond like this, or you've kind of lost yourself in this relationship. We used to like doing this, you no longer do it as much now that you're in this relationship. That's not jealous. That's not a woman saying, I want you to be single like me. That's somebody calling you back to yourself. That's somebody bringing something to your awareness that you may not be aware of, right? I've been in a similar situation, or I have a friend who was in a similar situation where she's in and it was still like the early ages, the talking stages, and she would share things with her friends, and her friend would listen, and like you could see, you know, when somebody tells you their story and they are super excited, but when you are listening to it, because your feelings and your emotions are not involved, you are able to also analyze it logically. And she was saying to me, I could hear that this story just sounds too good to be true, but I had to be careful because this is someone who hadn't been in a relationship in a while, and I didn't want to be the person who bursts a bubble. I needed to be sensitive in how I navigate, how I bring this to their attention. Long story short, after 3 months, the guy ghosts her, right? She goes and tells her friend, girl, you will not believe what happened. The girl says, you know what? I hope you won't get angry at me, but I kind of saw it coming. The things you were telling me about this guy were just too good to be true. It didn't sound right. And she was saying, really, like the girl who was the one telling her friend about this. So it was like, but why didn't you say anything? Because I couldn't see anything. I believed every single thing that this man said. And luckily, this girl's response was, next time, please tell me, because I can admit that when I'm in love or when I like somebody, my judgment is often clouded. I don't see things the way I would see them naturally, right? So I genuinely think it's important to be surrounded by friends that care about you, that are able to sort of kind of smell the BS when it's been sprayed and be like, friend, careful here. I get it. You want it. It's good. I love it. I love it for you. But I smell danger. It's important to also have friends like that. And you can't interpret that as this girl trying to keep her girl single. No, it's me just warning you. It's me just warning you. And you know what's funny? The people that say it's the women that are trying to keep their friends single, they are the same people that if something like that happened to them, they would blame the friend. Why didn't you say anything? You just wanted to see me hurt. You just wanted, do you know what I mean? They would somehow find a way to flip the script. Because it's a matter of not wanting to take responsibility, i.e. choosing your friends properly, i.e. choosing what you share with your friends as far as your relationship is responsible. Instead, you would rather blame them. That's just how I see it. That's just my little 2 cents. Anyway, thank you for being here as always. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I will see you on the next video. Thank you.